Hello there, and welcome to this week's video game news, brought to you by the Ginger Ninja Gaming Network. My name is Ginger Ninja, and today I'll be bringing you the latest news in the video game world. No jokes, no opinions, just the facts.
Mission start!
We have a total of 18 games and one expansion releasing this week. Out today is Dead Cells Return to Castlevania, PC, PS4, Switch, and Xbox One for $9.99 USD. A new story to play through, set in the game that inspired Dead Cells, this DLC brings 14 iconic Castlevania weapons as well as new monsters, classic and reimagined music, and more to Dracula's castle. The 2D platformer is rated T for teen. Also out today is Guilty Gear Strive, releasing on X1 and Xbox Series for $39.99. Released in 2021 for PC, PS4, and PS5, this marks the title's move to Xbox. Strive is the 7th mainline game in the fighting game series. It is rated T. The Outer Worlds Spacer's Choice Edition is out tomorrow, March 7th, for PC, PS5, and XS for $59.99 for the game and all DLC, or $9.99 if you already own the game and DLC. The new edition brings 4K 60 frames per second, volumetric lighting, and more to the game. The combat and companion AIs have also been worked on, as well as reworked character models and animations. The Outer Worlds Spacer's Choice Edition is rated M for mature. Also out on Tuesday is Pronti for the Switch for $14.99. As you explore the underwater city of Roila, control the inexperienced Pronti and Bront the Javelin, a weaponized robotic swordfish that can fend off the sea creatures corrupted by toxic waste. Pronti is rated E for everyone. Out on PC tomorrow is Outlanders. This town-building simulation game sees the citizens living their lives, but requires the player to place structures, manage resources, and decide how many people should work on any project. But leave it to them to decide everything else. The game offers a string of mission-based levels, each with its own specific goals and story. The game features no combat, and for a more relaxing experience, try the sandbox mode where all buildings and mechanics are unlocked from the start. At the time of recording, no price or ESRB rating could be found. On Thursday, we have 11 games being released. First up is Caverns of Mars, Recharged on PC, PS4, PS5, Switch, X1, and XS for $9.99. In Caverns of Mars, you descend into tunnels beneath the surface of Mars in a mad dash to destroy the reactor and the furthest depths of the enemy's base. Dodge debris, clear out obstacles, and blast enemies, all while conserving ammunition as you descend at high speed into enemy territory. Your ammo is limited and enemies are plentiful, so make every shot count. This reimagining of the 1981 arcade classic features a new original soundtrack. Caverns of Mars Recharged is rated E. Next up is Clash Artifacts of Chaos on PC, PS4, PS5, X1, and XS for $39.99. In Clash, you play as Pseudo, a master of martial arts who lives as a recluse in the strange land of Xenozoic. When you cross paths with the Boy, a small creature whose mysterious powers have attracted the attention of Gemini, the mistress of the artifacts, you decide to protect him, unaware that much greater forces are involved. Learn various martial arts during your adventure and alternate freely between them based on the situation, types of enemies, and your preference. Victories will enable you to improve your characteristics and upgrade your attacks, so you can develop your own unique style. Clash Artifacts of Chaos is rated T. Fatal Frame Mask of the Lunar Eclipse is releasing on PC, PS4, PS5, Switch, X1, and XS for $49.99. The fourth entry in the franchise that was released on the Wii and only in Japan, Mask of the Lunar Eclipse is a re-release that will be released globally. A group of children mysteriously disappeared during a festival on Rogetsu Isle. Although they were found, they had lost their memories. Now they return to the island as teenagers. The girls rely on the Camera Obscura, a camera with the power to capture and seal away unthinkable horrors, and the faint beam of their flashlight while exploring various locations and fending off the ghosts that attack them as they attempt to discover the truth of their haunting past. Fatal Frame Mask of the Lunar Eclipse is rated T. Figment 2 Creed Valley is releasing on PC, PS4, PS5, Switch, X1, and XS. An action-adventure game, Figment 2 is set in the human mind. Nightmares are spreading chaos and have overrun once peaceful lands. Join Dusty, the mind's courage, as you make your way through puzzles, musical boss fights, and unique environments. Face your fears head on. Nightmares have shattered the moral compass, making the mind unable to function properly. Dusty and his ever-optimistic sidekick Piper must travel to Creed Valley, where the mind's ideals are formed to restore peace. A journey filled with musical showdowns and mind-bending puzzles await. Figment 2 Creed Valley is rated E10+, for everyone 10 and up. Also on Thursday, we shall see Ib releasing on the Switch for $14.99. A remake of the 2012 game of the same name, this 2D exploration adventure game is set in a creepy, mysterious art gallery. A young girl named Ib is visiting the place with her parents. While looking at the various artwork, Ib suddenly realizes that she is alone. As she searches for someone, anyone else, the museum begins to change. Most of the graphics have been updated, as well as new effects. Ib is rated T. Know by Heart is making its way from PC to the Switch this Thursday. Childhood friends reunite after spending a long time apart, revisiting old memories and rekindling their friendship. However, something beyond their control will ruin this reunion. Know by Heart is a game about accepting loss. The plot, the music, the intuitive gameplay, and the atmospheric minigames work together to weave an illusion of briefly returning to one's childhood and inevitably growing up, a feeling of time slipping through our fingers. Players will be immersed in the quiet life of a provincial Russian town where traces and echoes of the Soviet era can still be seen and heard. At the time of recording, no price for the Switch version could be found, nor can an ESRB rating. The Last Spell is leaving early access for a full launch on PC and will also be releasing on PS4, PS5, and Switch this Thursday for $24.99. A tactical RPG with roguelike elements, you have to defend a city against hordes of deadly enemies. During the daytime, prepare your heroes, carefully choose how to rebuild your haven, and position your defenses. Over the night, exterminate all the monsters coming at your walls with a large range of weapons and skills. Then heal, level up, and repeat until the magic seal is broken. At the time of recording, no ESRB rating could be found. Monster Energy Supercross 6 is going to be on PC, PS4, PS5, X1, and XS on Thursday for $59.99. Leave your mark in the Supercross world with the aid of your coach and mentor, the legendary Jeremy McGrath. Learn all of his tricks in the Supercross Academy and rely on his teachings to reach the peak of the championship in a career mode that is more immersive than ever. Rack up success, impress the sponsors, race through unique rivalries, and become the Supercross World Champion. Monster Energy Supercross 6 is rated E. Also this Thursday, Oni Road to be the Mightiest Oni will be released on PC, PS4, PS5, and Switch for $29.99. In the middle of the ocean on a small island called Kizajima, it is said that a dormant power lies within the local demon spirits. They can be drawn out by challenging them to trials. The island is divided into 3 areas with a variety of challenges ranging from fighting enemies to escort missions. The player can also level up by running away from pursuing monsters like a game of tag, and collecting mushrooms that grow in clusters to purchase upgraded clubs. Oni, Road to be the Mightiest Oni, is rated E10+. Peaky Blinders: The King's Ransom is coming to the Meta Quest 2 and Pico 4. Based on the Netflix show Peaky Blinders, come face to face with iconic characters from the show, including Tommy Shelby and his hot-headed brother Arthur. Uncover a plot that puts the whole country at stake, and take the fight to your enemies in thrilling, fast-paced shootouts where you'll need to improvise to stay alive. The game lets you explore the gritty streets of 1920s Birmingham and London, and you can immerse yourself in locations from the show, including the Garrison Tavern, Charlie's Yard, and the Shelby's Betting Shop. At the time of recording, no price or ESRB rating could be found. The last one out on Thursday is Session Skate Sim on the Switch for $49.99. Inspired by the golden age of street skating, the 1990s, Session's Skate Sim lets you experience true skateboarding and its culture. No scoring system, just you, your spot, and your imagination. With the dual stick controls, each stick represents one of your feet. You must learn how to control them and transfer weight just like on a real skateboard. Physics have been developed with a focus on realism, smoothness, and immersion. Just like in real life for a brand new skateboarder, the first hours can seem challenging. Once you have mastered the technique, you will feel an unrivaled thrill of pulling off your very first kickflip. Session Skate Sim also includes full options customization so you can experience the perfect experience tailored to you. Session Skate Sim is rated T. Then on Friday, we have Before Your Eyes on PlayStation VR2 for $14.99. Embark in an emotional, award-winning adventure where you control the story and affect its outcomes with your real-life blinks. In this unique VR experience, you will fully immerse yourself in a world of memories both joyous and heartbreaking as your whole life flashes before your eyes. The game uses your VR headset's front-facing camera to immerse you in the story in a way you've never experienced before. You'll learn to control the flow of the narrative with your actual eyes, blinking through precious memories of family, first love, and the rise of an artistic career. But soon the ferryman will suspect you aren't showing him everything he needs to see, so he'll force you deeper into the dark recesses of your most repressed memories, ultimately revealing a heartbreaking truth. Before Your Eyes is rated E. Bleak Faith Forsaken is a Souls-like action-adventure game releasing on PC. This open-world experience features hardcore combat that requires positioning, timing, and resource management to survive. It features a dark world that appears to be influenced by both medieval and futuristic design. At the time of recording, no cost or ESRB rating could be found. The last game out this Friday is DC's Justice League Cosmic Chaos for PC, PS4, PS5, Switch, X1, and XS for $49.99. Cosmic Chaos gives you an all-new adventure where the Justice League go head-to-head with Mr. Mxyzptlk, a powerful prankster from the 5th dimension. Have the freedom to play your way in action-packed missions, grueling fights, and daring challenges. Suit up as Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman and team up with other superheroes to take on some of the most powerful supervillains in the DC universe. DC's Justice League Cosmic Chaos is rated E10+. Now we move on to free and membership games. On the Epic Games Store, Rise of Industry is free until this Thursday. Put your entrepreneurial skills to the test as you create and optimize intricate production lines whilst keeping an eye on the all-important bottom line. As an early 20th century industrialist, grow your empire and adapt to unexpected events that could lead to boom or bust. Rise of Industry is rated T. Once Rise of Industry is removed as the free title, it will be replaced by Call of the Sea, an otherworldly tale of mystery and love set in the 1930s South Pacific. Explore a lush island paradise, solve puzzles, and unlock secrets in the hunt for your husband's missing expedition. Immerse yourself in a story-driven adventure full of emotion, suspense, and surreal surprises as you investigate the clues left by a previous voyage, piece together what happened, and solve a variety of clever puzzles. Call of the Sea is rated T. Just one game is being added to the Game Pass service this week, and it is Guilty Gear Strive, available on PC, X1, and XS. It is available today on launch day. Next week, on Wednesday, February 15th, Game Pass will be removing 8 titles: F1 2020, Goat Simulator, Kentucky Route Zero TV Edition, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Paradise Killer, Undertale, Young Souls, and Zero Escape: The Nonary games. As a reminder, all games on the Game Pass service can be purchased for 20% off until removed. Starting tomorrow, Battlefield 2042 on PS4 and PS5, Minecraft Dungeons on PS4, and Code Vein on PS4 will be free for PlayStation Plus subscribers. The games will be available to grab until April 3rd. Battlefield 2042 is the latest entry in the franchise and was released in 2021. The game lacked a campaign and removed classes. In place of the campaign, the game added Battlefield Portal, which allows the creation of custom games that use weapons, vehicles, and maps from select previous games in the series. And in place of classes, specialists were added. These are unique characters with special abilities. However, with a recent update to the game, classes have been added, and they are the Assault, Engineer, Support, and Recon classes. Like the previous games, there are unique loadouts to each class, as well as unique gadgets. Battlefield 2042 is rated M. Minecraft Dungeons is a dungeon crawler set in the Minecraft universe. Fight your way through an all-new action-adventure game, inspired by classic dungeon crawlers and set in the Minecraft universe. Brave the dungeons alone or team up with friends. Up to 4 players can battle together through action-packed, treasure-stuffed, wildly varied levels, all in an epic quest to save the villagers and take down the evil arch-illager. Minecraft Dungeon is rated E10+. Code Vein is a story-driven connected dungeon experience. Use your combined strength to coordinate your approach and defend each other from surprise attacks or tackle overpowered enemies in melee combat. Choose from various weapons such as bayonets, axes, spears, and more. Enhance your character's abilities with powerful blood code enhancements, each with access to various gifts that can increase your strength, weaken enemies, and can allow you to utilize new weapon abilities or access overpowered attacks. Code Vein is rated M. Today is the last day to pick up Destiny 2 Beyond Light, Evil Dead the Game, Mafia Definitive Edition, and Ollie Ollie World. Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition is free to those with an Amazon Prime membership. Gather your party and immerse yourself in an epic RPG series where every choice matters. Play over 100 hours of adventure in the Enhanced Edition of Baldur's Gate, plus the full Siege of Dragonspear expansion. Customize your hero, recruit a party of brave allies, and explore the Sword Coast in your search for adventure, profit, and the truth. The Enhanced Edition also includes new challenges in the Black Pits arena. Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition is rated T. Truderbrook is available with Xbox Gold now until the end of the month. Truderbrook is a thrilling mystery sci-fi adventure game. Enjoy an adventurous vacation to a 1960s parallel universe. A sci-fi mystery adventure game with handmade scenery. Imagine yourself on a vacation to Europe in the late 60s. Now picture yourself as a young American scientist, Hans Tannerhauser. While you're at it, think of Truderbrook, a remote village in rural Germany, because that's where you end up after hitting the continent. But who cares, you won the trip in a lottery, or at least that's how it seems. But don't fear, instead of getting some rest, you could find yourself having to save the world. Truderbrook is rated T. Also available until March 31st with Xbox Gold is Sudden Strike 4 Complete Edition. The complete collection offers fans the ultimate World War II strategy experience, containing the main Sudden Strike 4 game plus all 5 previously released DLCs: Battle of Kursk, Road to Dunkirk, Finland Winter Storm, Africa Desert War, and the Pacific War. Sudden Strike 4 sends you off on 3 extensive campaigns set amongst the battlefields of World War II. Command the British and American, German, or Soviet troops in the most iconic conflicts of the war, leading over 100 different units into battle. Prove your strategic expertise in over 20 demanding single-player scenarios, a challenge-focused skirmish mode, and the ultra-competitive multiplayer mode. It's time to talk about announcements. Baldur's Gate 3 will leave early access on PC and make its way to PS5 on August 31st this year. The Xbox Series version has not been given a release date, after some stated that they thought it was an exclusivity deal preventing the game from releasing on Xbox on the same day. Larian Studios said this was not the case. Quote, "We have no exclusivity for which platforms we can bring BG3 to, or when, and we will announce support for additional platforms if and when we're ready." End quote. Currently, they are working on getting split-screen co-op to work to the same standard on both Xbox Series X and S, which is a requirement for them to ship. Warner Bros. Discovery announced during a recent earnings call that Mortal Kombat 12 will be released this year. This is the first official word on the latest entry in the fighting franchise. The previous game in the franchise is Mortal Kombat 11, which was released in 2019 for PC, PS4, Switch, and X1. MK11 has an 82 on PS4 by 85 critics, and 86 for X1 by 26 critics. The user score is lower, with 3.8 from 2,115 reviews on PS4 and 3.4 from 486 reviews on X1. Some of the repeated complaints from users are about the requirement to always be online, as well as microtransactions. MK12 will have competition this year, as Street Fighter VI will also be coming out later this year. Though no time has been given for release, Civilization VII has been confirmed to be in the works by Take-Two Interactive. Originally developed by Sid Meier more than 30 years ago, it has been 6 years since Civ 6 was released. The series is a turn-based strategy game centered on the player building a civilization on a macro scale from prehistory up to the near future. As they grow their civilization, the player will explore the map and encounter other civilizations that are controlled by other players or AI. They can attempt negotiations or go to war with their military units. Technology plays a part in the advancement of civilization, and recent titles have introduced gameplay mechanics such as religion and economics. Well, that does it for announcements. Now we get into the hard-hitting news of the industry. While the acquisition of Activision Blizzard King by Microsoft is currently under scrutiny by several governmental agencies around the globe, Microsoft has signed a deal with Nintendo. A statement from Microsoft stated, quote, Microsoft and Nintendo have now negotiated and signed a binding 10-year legal agreement to bring Call of Duty to Nintendo players, the same day as Xbox with full feature and content parity, so they can experience Call of Duty just as Xbox and PlayStation gamers enjoy Call of Duty. We are committed to providing long-term equal access to Call of Duty to other gaming platforms, bringing more choice to more players and more competition to the gaming market. End quote. The United Kingdom's Competition and Markets Authority, which has been vocally opposed to the purchase, stated that they looked into the Nintendo Switch and they said, quote, we have seen evidence that large shooter games do not run as well on Nintendo's console due to its technical differentiation. The ability of the Switch to connect to a third-party cloud gaming service provider would not make it a closer competitor to Xbox and PlayStation, end quote. But as Microsoft has tried to complete the purchase of Activision Blizzard King, Sony has been trying to stop the acquisition. In their attempt to see that the acquisition goes through, Microsoft hit Sony with a subpoena in January. One request that Microsoft made and that Sony tried to get stopped was about every licensing agreement that Sony has signed with any third-party publisher between January 1st, 2012 and today. The Federal Trade Commission has denied Sony's motion to block the request. Sony claimed that there was no value in the information, but the FTC agreed with Microsoft's counter-argument that since the argument in hand is about exclusivity, Sony too should be forced to reveal the negative impact they have put on Xbox. But the FTC is only allowing Microsoft the information from January 1st, 2019 to present, rather than from 2012 to present. Reuters has reported that the deal may go through without issue in the EU, but Microsoft will still have to contend with the FTC and the UK's Competition and Markets Authority. Also in Activision news recently, a report from Bloomberg claims that Call of Duty will not be taking a year off in 2023. It was originally announced that the franchise was taking a one-year break for the first time since 2004. It was said that an expansion for Modern Warfare 2 would be released instead. According to the Bloomberg report, Activision has moved from that plan to now having a full release this year. They state that the game this year will be a continuation of last year's Call of Duty, but will simply be a full standalone title. They say that their sources have claimed that the game will see all maps and modes carry over from the last title, and that Sledgehammer Games is developing it. The article also says that the sources have cautioned that the company's plans may change again between now and its release this fall. Luminous Productions will be shut down on May 1st by its parent company, Square Enix. The developers will be folded into Square Enix itself. This comes just a little over a month after the studio published its only game, Forspoken. After being established on March 27, 2018, this means the studio will be closing just 2 months after its 5-year anniversary. In a statement about the closing, Square Enix said, quote, the merger is part of the company's efforts to further bolster the competitive prowess of the group's development studios, goals set forth under its current medium-term business strategy, end quote. Forspoken is an open-world action RPG released on PC and PS5. The game currently has a 64 on PS5 from 119 critics and a 3.4 from 1,329 user reviews. During a recent earnings call, Embracer Group announced that they have 5 games in the works based on the Lord of the Rings IP. In August of last year, Embracer Group purchased the IP rights to The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, though there are some exclusions, which is why Amazon was recently able to publish their show, Rings of Power. The only known games in the franchise right now that are being worked on are Golem and Return to Moria. Golem, which sees players take on the role of Golem, was originally supposed to be released in 2021, but has been delayed numerous times. Return to Moria sees players become dwarves as they explore the underground region with up to 7 other players as they rebuild the lost city of Moria. Ubisoft has announced that they are coming down on cheaters who use mouse and keyboard to play Rainbow Six Siege on console. Called Mousetrap, the anti-cheat measure is designed so that when a player is recognized as using mouse and keyboard on PlayStation or Xbox, they'll be hit with input latency that will build up over time. This means that the cheaters will not be able to react as quickly, which will be a disadvantage compared to those not cheating, and it will only get worse over time. In a video about the upcoming anti-cheat measure, it was announced that it will arrive with the Year 8 Season 1.2 update. The company has admitted that the higher tier of play that you encounter, the more likely you are to play against these cheaters. For those that pre-order Diablo IV, the closed beta will be available between March 17th and 19th. For those that don't pre-order, There will be an open beta the following week between March 24th and 26th. These betas come a few months before the launch of the game, which is currently set for June 2nd. The previous title in the series, Diablo IV, was released on May 15th, 2012, so it'll be 11 years since the last entry and 17 years since Diablo I originally came out in 1996. The franchise is a dark fantasy action role-playing video game. During the February State of Play from Sony, the first gameplay for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was revealed. During the 15-minute segment, the open-world action shooter was shown off and new details were confirmed, such as the fact that the game will be a live service game and will always require an online connection, even if you're playing solo. The game will support full cross-platform play for online co-op and will have an RPG-style loot system. Set in the Rocksteady Arkhamverse, it takes place 5 years after Arkham Knight. The game is centered around Captain Boomerang, Deadshot, Harley Quinn, and King Shark as they take on Justice League members who are being controlled as they have gone evil. According to Kotaku, EA reportedly fired its entire Baton Rouge studio via Zoom meeting. The article states that they have 3 sources who are familiar with the meeting and verified the information. A Twitter user claiming to be a former QA lead for Apex Legends said, quote, "EA just fired its entire Baton Rouge studio, which is essentially their entire Apex Legends QA staff," end quote. EA's only response to Kotaku about the studio was that testing for the game would be done across multiple teams outside of Baton Rouge. Also in the news for Apex Legends, the Battle Royale recently hit an all-time high peak of 624,473 concurrent players on Steam, which is more than 100,000 of the game's previous record of 510,000 in August of last year. With the release of the PlayStation VR2 headset, Resident Evil Village has received a free update on the PS5 that makes it playable in VR. Capcom has recently announced that the upcoming remake of Resident Evil 4 will also receive a free DLC so that it supports VR. While Village is a first-person shooter originally, RE4 is a third-person shooter, although there is already a VR game for that title on the Oculus Quest 2, though it has no connections to the upcoming remake. In Village, Ethan Hunters returns as the protagonist after RE7 Biohazard. He finds himself in a village that is overrun with werewolf-like creatures and must find his kidnapped daughter. In RE4, U.S. government agent Leon S. Kennedy is in Spain on a mission to rescue Ashley Graham, U.S. President's daughter, who has been abducted by a mysterious cult.
Mission complete!
That does it for this week's news segment. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to keep up to date on all things GN, we have a Facebook page, Twitter account, and Twitch. We also have daily gaming news on YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Thank you, and see you next time.